Oh, hello and welcome, FPL managers, and welcome to the Zonal Weakness for Gaming 22, brought to you by Warner Football Fantasy and powered by Fantasy Football Scout. Well, I kind of forgot a little bit the whole introduction because it's been such a long time since I've last done the video. But yeah, I'm starting to slowly get back my memory. But welcome, Bethany. Good to see
Hey,
you.
and you, and you? You good?
I'm good. I'm good. How was your game week?
Oh, it was a bit of a disaster, and it didn't help that it was dragged out over such a long time. Yeah, I had Palmer, and as my captain, so I started really well. I thought it was going to be a great game week. And when Saka blanked, which was the other most popular captain, I was like, "Yep, this is good." But actually, none of my attackers did anything other than Palmer. So I had kind of Kuna, I had Solanke, I had Gross, I brought in Foden, I had Saka, just not captained, and they all did absolutely nothing. I also didn't own Gabriel. So yeah, I mean I didn't finish too badly considering that. I think I got 120k red arrow, which is it could definitely have been worse considering none of them returned. But yeah, not a great week. What about you?
Well, I had a good game week. I think my team looks more or less similar to yours, but the only difference is Gabriel. So I think that's where I kind of got the green arrow. Otherwise, I captained Palmer and I had more or less the same team. So yeah. Well, but yeah, it's good that FPL is back, and I mean,
Definitely.
still a couple of days left. Couple of days left, just that you know. But still, FPL is back, and we'll have more information coming over the weeks about the double game week and the blank game week and stuff. But yeah, finally it's back. I mean, this was a slow death, to be honest. It was a slow death. I think at least the international breaks are much better. I can tell you that. But this one was like you keep track of the games and then you forget, and then you think the game week is over. No, it's not.
I
There
know.
are four more left. There are more matches left, but the next match is about 7 days away, and I'm like, okay, hold on a
Yeah.
second. Yeah, and people are rushing to buy in KDB. Yeah, seriously. I have no comments, but anyway, but let's go into the zonal gaming and let's see what it is. And before we do, of course, please do give us a follow and like and subscribe. And of course, we're doing all our shows there on YouTube, but also regularly producing the thread on zonal weakness on Twitter. So if you haven't followed us, please do so now. And all the data that you see, including the zonal data, are taken from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. If you are interested in the membership, then please do click on the link in the description section and you will get 30% discount, sorry, 20% discount. And obviously, you'll be able to get access to loads and loads of data. And I think that would help you to take better decision and more informed decisions for the game weeks that is coming. And I think buying Fantasy Football Scout or getting the membership ahead of the double game weeks as well as the blank game weeks is quite important because it just helps you to identify those key players at a very critical time of FPL. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Here's the tables, Bethany. What stands out?
So I think the first thing that stands out is Man City. Pretty much everyone looks good this week for them. So whichever player is your own, they have a high chance of bringing you some points, which is good. I think the one thing to mention really is Haaland. Obviously, some people kept him and you're going to start him. But I know lots of people are then thinking about bringing him back this week. And I think it's just important to remember how long he's been out. So obviously KDB has been out a lot longer. But he's only just getting back to kind of he sat on the bench a few times, then he's had 20 minutes off the bench. Yes, he hauled, but not
And we
everyone's
were
going to
talking
haul
about it.
for 20 minutes off the bench. So I think with Haaland, you've got to remember he wasn't just out for 1 week or 2 weeks. He's been out for quite a while now. So I think his minutes will be managed. Not to say he's a bad option. Obviously, it looks great from the zonal, and we know what he can do in a short period of time. So, but just to kind of keep that in mind, I think the other interesting option now that Haaland is back is also what are you doing with your forwards? So if you've got space for 3 forwards, that's great. But otherwise, it's likely kind of somebody like Watkins or Solanke that you're going to be replacing with Haaland, and both of them, both on paper, look great this week. So Watkins is ranked first for chances conceded through the centre. Solanke ranked third through the centre, and second for headed chances conceded. So both of them, if you're not going for Haaland or if you're going to bring in Haaland as well as those two, both look great options this week too. I think for those of us who sold Bowen, like I did for -4, it's probably not this week that we need to rush bringing him back. Obviously, West Ham's numbers here don't look great against Bournemouth, so probably an avoid this week. For Spurs here, again, Udogie looks like a great option, but I think it's one of Porro or Udogie. So if you've got Porro, there's no need to swap this week. Richarlison, just to sneak in there, he is ranked 7th, so he's kind of outside of the zone that we'd normally mention, but he's still pretty high up, so he could do well for owners again this week. And then interestingly, I know we talked about Arsenal. They both look good, 1st and 4th for crosses conceded. So Martinelli, Trossard, Saka and Odegaard all could do well. But I'm one of the people considering selling Saka. I've had enough of him and his non-returns. And I think the thing that's a bit worrying with Arsenal, because obviously they did really well at the weekend, they came away with a ton of goals, and yet Saka wasn't involved. And I think that's the concerning thing with them compared to other teams. Where you've kind of got 1 or 2 players that you can rely on. The goals and assists can be so far spread with Arsenal that it could be Saka, it could be Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard, 𝐿𝐨𝐧𝐬, 𝐁𝐞𝐭𝐡𝐚𝐧, Gabriel. Obviously, you come up with kind of 1.5, 2 goals at the weekend. So I think it's just kind of split there so much that it's hard to rely on them. So yeah, it's an interesting decision for owners to make, I think, this week.
Yeah, true. I mean, there's plenty of decisions, and I think especially with the Haaland, and if you have 𝐁𝐞𝐭𝐡𝐚𝐧 and Watkins, that's another decision. But the thing was, one of the decisions that I was regretting personally, because last game week we were talking about KDB, and then how we were thinking like whether he's going to start. The X minute factor was kind of the thing that kind of prevented us from taking him, and. Yeah,
but if you took that risk, it paid off, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's so where tricky. We were hesitant. Yeah, true. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This looks totally different to the previous one. So what stands out now?
Not sure what's standing out here. So I think, especially as somebody who brought Gross in this week, I brought Gross in for my Bowen transfer last week. And he's not standing out. So unfortunately, the Brighton assets aren't looking great this week. So no rush to bring any of those in, I don't think. I think interesting from a Liverpool perspective, obviously Jota and Darwin Núñez both did really well at the weekend and rewarded their owners, those that took a punt on them, or held Darwin after such a long period of time. And again, it's Darwin that's standing out again this week. So even though he's not highlighted, he's ranked 6th. So again, just outside. So he could still do really well again this week against Chelsea. Chelsea assets, unfortunately, obviously Palmer doesn't look, it's not an obvious win for Palmer this week. So again, if you don't already own him, probably not one to bring in. But I'll be starting him as I already own him, because he can get a penalty in any game. Newcastle assets, I think, are an avoid. Obviously, looking at this data here, like they're ranked 19th and 20th across every chances conceded zone. If you've got other options, maybe a time on the bench for Gordon this week. Brentford, I think, are really interesting. So obviously Tony's back; he got a goal. And again, he's kind of ranked 7th for crosses conceded on the left flank, so just outside that zone that we normally talk about. But I think just generally him being back makes that Brentford team a lot better. So I think players like me can come back into our thinking again now. And then finally, you know what I'm going to say here. I think I say it every single week, that Man United on paper, the zonal suggests that they could have a good week. Højlund, Rashford, Wan-Bissaka, all kind of looking good on the zonal, but I just don't trust them. So they're an avoid for me.
So what I will do is next week, I'm just going to record this, and then I'm just going to make a clip of it.
Yeah, you can
so
just
next
play
week
it back.
When we have Man United, we can just play it back. Okay. Yeah. We can just play it back. Yeah. Right. Okay. Here's the team of the week, and I'm so glad to see finally Haaland back in the team of the week again.
Did you keep him? Did you keep him? No.
I sold Haaland, I sold Salah, I sold Son. I only kept Trent Alexander-Arnold, so I'm so happy that I kept Trent.
You've done all right
now with the news coming in that he could start with Chelsea.
Be back.
So that's good.
So I think that front three is looking really nice for a forward line of Watkins, Haaland and Solanke. be interesting this week. I think maybe a lot of people might be taking a -4 to kind of get rid of Salah. Now we know he's out for longer term, to kind of move the money about from midfield into back into the forward line to afford Haaland potentially. But yeah, I think that's a lovely front three. Richarlison and Foden, I think, are great shouts, not just this week. I think going forward, they're both in form. So I like both of them. Like we kind of touched on before, I like Udogie, but I wouldn't be rushing him in if you've already got Porro. If you're looking for a defender this week, he might be a nice shout, but I wouldn't be doing the swap. And then similarly, Moreno and Emerson, nice if you're taking a punt, if you're, I don't know, on a free hit or something. Nice choices, but I think our transfers are so vital at the moment, with trying to work out what to do around the doubles, the blanks, the players coming back from AFCON or Asia Cup, etc. I think probably most of us are not looking to do defensive transfers at the moment. I think we're going to focus on the attackers, I'd say.
Yeah, I think there's still lots of information, and I think information is very precious at this moment of time. So I think, we should be very careful in the kind of transfers that we do. So that's something. So yeah, but I mean, that's Game Week 22 covered and finished and done and dusted, to be honest. But let's see for Game Week 23 and 24, of course, we hope to be back. But thank you so much, Bethany, and glad to see you.
Right.
And of course, glad to have FPL back. Oof.
Definitely.
It's over. It's over, finally. But yeah, thank you, audience. Please do share and please do give us a like. And of course, share it and invite your friends to watch the Zonal Weakness. But until then, take care. Bye-bye.